Hello everyone, how are you doing? Dear student, we are Punya Study Circle and welcoming you in our classroom. You know what we are going to learn about today? Today we are going to learn about accounting, terminologies or basic concept of accounting that will facilitate our further understanding of accountancy curriculum. Here I have mentioned 10 important concepts that we are going to learn through this lecture. Very first, let me tell you about the business transaction. Business transactions means economic transactions on the part of business entity that have potential to cause change in the financial position of the concern. What do we mean by financial position? We'll be learning later on. Very first, we should clear ourselves with the business transaction. Business transactions means any buying and selling of goods and services and assets that can change in the financial position. So, what is the nature of business transactions? That comes our second question. Business transactions are economic activities. That means they involve inflow or outflow of money against goods, services and assets. Second thing, they may be internal and external. Internal transactions means those transactions which are performed within the organizations, like charging depreciation on the fixed assets, amortizing our intangible assets and writing off deferred revenue expenditure. All these are called internal transactions which do not cause any inflow or outflow of cash. But those transactions which cause inflow or outflow of cash or money's worth are called external transactions. Those economic transactions which take place between two independent economic units are called external transactions, like purchase of goods from supplier and sales of goods to the customer, acquisition of new assets, raising of loan. All these are called external transactions. What kind of change they cause in the financial position are called event. Event means change in financial position as a result of some business transaction. In order to understand change, we must understand the meaning of financial position. Here I have studied the meaning of financial position is that balance sheet. Balance sheet is a statement which shows the quantum of assets possessed by the business entity at a specific date. And these assets must have been either financed from the fund invested by owners or the credit provided or advance provided by the external financial agencies. It can be written as equality between total liabilities or always is equal to total assets. Whatever assets we are having, they may have either sourced through the capital invested by owner or the value invested by owner in the business, or liabilities. That means credit facility provided by the external institutions, be they are commercial bank, financial institutions or our supplier. Physical to total asset, let's keep it simple, making it total asset as well. Otherwise, assets can also be categorized into current and non-current assets, or you may call them fixed assets and current assets. Let's try to understand this equation with the help of an example. Ram, a sole trader, started business by investing rupees 50,000. Here we are experiencing creation of liability to the extent of rupees 50,000 that are being invested by the owner. Entirely this amount is invested in terms of cash. So here we are having an asset creation that is to the extent of rupees 50,000. Now Ram decided to purchase goods or raw material worth 10,000. Here we experience outflow of cash to the extent of 10,000 and inflow of stock of goods worth 10,000. See, this is going to be an business transaction. Business transaction is what? Purchase of goods worth 10,000. It has reduced our cash and increased our stock. But financial position is still same, composition has been changed of assets. Next thing, he spent 15,000 for transforming these goods into finished goods so that he can sell these goods to the customer and can earn some amount of profit. So whatever amount he is spending as an expense must be subtracted from capital as well as from the cash if he has incurred that expense in terms of cash. What has happened after payment of this 15,000 rupees as wages? Say wages. We are having 35,000 payment to the owners for his capital. Here we are having 25,000 of cash remaining and 10,000 rupees of goods. Now, the goods or finished product that has caused him expenditure to the extent of 25,000 are being sold at rupees 50,000. He is going to sell these goods at rupees 50,000, goods worth 10,000. If we are selling at 50,000, we are going to have a profit of 40,000. That will increase our amount of capital to the extent of profit. Here we are going to experience cash of rupees 50,000. We are assuming that entire sales was made in cash, and we also experience outflow of goods to the extent of 10,000 or entire. Look at here, our capital or liability has increased to 75,000 that we need to pay back to the owner. Here we are having cash of 75,000 too. So economic transactions or buying and selling of goods, assets, services are called transactions, whereas the change in composition of our final account equation or our balance sheet equation is called event. Event means change in financial position or composition of or amount of liability, assets and capital. I'm sure that you may have got clarity about the financial position and about the transactions, and their result are called event. Now the next thing is about account. Account is a particular page, or you may call it a particular place or a format. Format has been drawn here. This format is called account, where the transactions that are related to a particular person or particular asset or particular goods are posted from the original books of account wherever they were recorded at first time. Or traditionally we can say a format or a page which is divided into two equal half. This is a page we have divided into two equal half by drawing a line through its center vertically. The left hand half is called debit side and the right hand half is called credit side. This format is just called account, in which we prepare, classified and summarize record or ledger. Then we are having capital. Amount or value invested by the owner of a business entity into his business is called capital. This value he can invest in terms of goods, in terms of cash, or even in terms of assets and properties. That entire amount which is invested or introduced by the owner into his business entity is called capital, or you may call it internal liabilities. Liability may be of two types, of internal and external. Internal means amount that is payable by the business entity to the owner called internal liability, and amount that is payable to the outsider. That means we may have borrowed some amount from the bank, financial institution or our creditor, that are called external liabilities. So capital is going to be our internal liability. That means amount that business owed to the owner. Drawing means any value that is withdrawn by the business owner for his personal use from the business entity. He may withdraw some cash from some goods or some assets from the business for his personal use. That is called drawing. Drawing is exactly opposite of capital. Then we are going to study about liabilities. Here when we use word liability instead of total liability, means any amount that is payable to the outsider. We may have purchased goods on credit, we may have borrowed some amount from associate concerns or associate companies, we may have taken a loan from commercial bank or financial institution. All that are called liabilities. I'm sure you are clear. Liability means the amount that business organization has to pay to the external parties sooner or later. Liabilities can be of two types, of on the basis of their direction towards, that means internal liabilities directed towards owners, and external liabilities directed towards other parties or third parties or outsiders. On the basis of their maturities, liabilities can be classified into two categories: current liabilities and non-current liabilities. Liabilities that are going to mature within coming 12 months are called current liabilities, like creditors, bank overdraft, etc. And liabilities that are not going to mature within 12 months but later on are called non-current liabilities. Any amount which is due for payment after 12 months are called non-current liabilities, like bank loan, loan from financial institution, debentures, etc. are called non-current liability. I'm sure you are clear with the meaning of non-current liabilities. And non-current liabilities, besides liabilities, assets. Assets means any possession, any right or any property that provide earning capacity to the business entity are called assets. Assets may be, here we have mentioned three types of fixed assets, current assets and fictitious assets. Fixed assets or non-current assets, as name implies, they are never purchased for resale purpose. They remain with the business entity over a long period of time, providing its productive capacity or earning capacity. They are main source of generating revenue to the business entity. You may call them building, plant, machinery, equipment, copyright, goodwill, etc. All these are called fixed assets or non-current assets. When we are talking about current assets, that means those assets which can be realized into cash, which are purchased for resale purpose help in production of goods and services are called current assets, like our inventories, our debtors, bills receivable, cash, bank, marketable securities. All are these going to be current assets. When we are talking about fictitious assets, means those assets which cannot be realized into cash or no further benefit can be derived from these assets. They are in terms of loss incurred over the previous years of the business entity. That means in the last year or in any of the previous year, whatever loss we have incurred, we have to write off it in the times to come. As we will keep earning on profit, we will keep writing out for any deferred revenue expenditure. That means revenue nature expenditure whose benefit are likely to accrue to us over number of years are called deferred revenue expenditure, like share issue expenditure, underwriters, commissions, discount on issue debenture. All these are going to be written off over the period of time. So any amount of deferred revenue expenditure which has not been written off yet are called fictitious assets or nominal assets. Then we are having next concept, receipt. That means money received by the business entity over a certain period of time is collectively called as receipt. Receipt may arise from two sources, capital and revenue sources. Capital receipt means those receipts which have been cashed to the business organization either as an increase in liability or decrease in assets. When we are selling our investment, we are selling our fixed assets, or we are raising loan or borrowing fund from the outside, maybe from the commercial bank, are called capital receipt. But when we are talking about revenue receipt, that means all the monetary receipt to the business entity because of sales of goods, offering of services and investment income like interest received, dividend received, rent received, etc. All these are called revenue receipt. But when we talk about expenditure, expenditure may be of three types of revenue expenditure, capital expenditure and deferred revenue expenditure. Capital expenditure are those expenditure which either case increase in the quantum of assets or decrease in the quantum of liabilities. When we are making repayment of loan which was taken from the bank earlier, when we are redeeming our debentures, when we are making payment to the creditors, or when we are acquiring assets like purchase of building, plant, machinery, investment, etc. All these are going to be capital expenditure. When we talk about revenue expenditure, means any amount which is spent by the business entity and whose benefit is receivable or received during a particular accounting year or over the period of 12 months are called revenue expenditure, like payment of salary, wages, purchase of raw material, transformation expenditure, utility bills payment. All these are called revenue expenditure. And specifically when we are talking about deferred revenue expenditure are those revenue expenditure whose benefit will accrue to us over a number of years, 3 to 7 years generally, and they are to write off in the succeeding or consecutive phase. Entire amount we cannot be charged against profit and loss account in a single year because benefit are expected to accrue, like advertisement suspense account. We have made expenditure in a year, but advertisement benefit or creation of brand loyalty or response of customer may come over 2, 3, 4, 5 years. That is why that is called deferred revenue expenditure. Revenue will be generated over the long period of time, but amount has been paid in a single year of revenue nature are called deferred revenue expenditure. Specifically when we are mentioning about expense, you may call revenue expenditure as expense. That means amount that is being spent by the business entity on purchase of raw material, production and selling of goods are called expenses. I'm sure that you are damn clear with all these 10 concepts. In our next lecture, we'll be talking about next 10 concepts of the accountancy or next 10 terminologies of accounting. Till then, have a good time. Enjoy your studies. Stay safe. Stay home. See you very soon.